Let me thank Senator Warner for his leadership on this issue. Senator Warner, the bills that you are bringing forward will help deal with the incredible burden that American families are confronting today in order to get quality education. Your story is a story told about the opportunities of America. Education is the great equalizer in this country. My grandparents came to America for a better life for their children. My parents benefited from education. They're products of the Baltimore City public school system and the public colleges and universities in the state of Maryland. As a result of the educational tools given to them, the grandson of those immigrants now serves in the United States Senate. That's the story of America. Education is the great equalizer. And that's why we were so disappointed that we couldn't proceed with an important tool to make education more available to families, and that's the bill that we just recently voted on to try to at least break a filibuster so that we could help those who currently have student loans. Education has been the great equalizer in a growing middle class, which has led to the strength of America. It's been key to global competition. We all talk about the fact that other countries are doing a better job in STEM education or in catching up to America, in some cases surpassing America. Well, education is the great equalizer. We should make it easier for families to be able to afford a college education. And the truth is, it's more expensive here than it is in any other country. And yet, we expect our country to be able to compete globally. We're hurting ourselves. It's important for a growing economy. A growing middle class, trained workers will strengthen America's economy, creating more jobs and more opportunity. So it's in our collective interest, not just that one family that is debating whether they're going to send their child to college or which college because of cost. It's in all of our interests to make it easier for Americans to afford a higher education. The cost of higher education today is just plain too expensive. It's just too costly. It's the single most important investment that a family can make, and yet today, college debt is around $1.2 trillion, greater than what all of our credit card debt held by American families. Now, is that putting a priority on education? I don't think so. We can do a much better job. In Maryland, 776,000 students have federal student loan debts, totaling over $21 million in school debt. Over 50% of those graduating students are borrowing money in order to attend college. But here's the problem. For too many families, it's a decision of whether they're going to go to college or not go to college, the cost. For too many families, it's going to a school of their second or third or fourth choice rather than the school they want to go to. And they're making that choice not because they couldn't get into the school that they wanted. They're making that decision because they can't afford the school that they were, which is their first choice. And it's clearly affecting the debt that they have when they leave college. It's clearly affecting their career choice. You know, we may have a brilliant researcher or a brilliant future teacher. What's more important than being a teacher? But they choose to go into a different profession because they have these student loans. And they choose for immediate pay considerations for their jobs rather than the career they really want to take, because they know it's not fair to their family to continue these large student debts that they're graduating with. That's the situation we confront today. Now, I could go through, you know the numbers. I'm going to tell you some real stories about real Marylanders. Last year, I visited one of our four-year colleges, and I had a roundtable discussion with students. And there was a second-year student there, and she told me the situation that she's going to drop out of school after this is a four-year college. She was going to drop out after the second year. I said to her, well, this, by the way, is in a very challenged community. And I said to her, well, I guess you're not doing well. She says, I'm a straight A student. I love the opportunities I'm being given here. I love the knowledge I'm getting. But I can't do it to my family to incur more debt. I look at my classmates from high school that have graduated, and they're making money for their family. And here I am, a burden to my family by incurring more debt. I can't do it. I don't know where I'm going to be 2 years from now. But I know I can't do this to my family, so I got to go out and work. And I can't incur the more debt. That's a loss. It's a loss for that student. It's a loss for our community. I'll tell you about another student I met just last week in one of our Southern Maryland colleges. She told me the story about wanting to become a pediatric dentist. Her name is Becky. Brilliant. She's doing great. But you see, Becky is working full-time and going to college. And she's not going to be able to go to her first choice. She has her first choice where she would like to go to school. She's not going to be able to do that because she's working full-time and incurring debt in order to go to college. So it's going to take her a lot longer. She's not going to get through undergraduate in 4 years. It's going to take her 5, 6, maybe more years to get through. And whether she'll ever become that pediatric dentist that she wants to be, I don't know. That's what's happening in America today. And millions of others could tell you similar stories of career decisions that they've made, giving up the investment that would be the most important investment in their life because of the financial consideration. So we have a bill before us, the bill that we have on the floor right now, that could do something about it. Now, I'd be the first to acknowledge there's a lot we could do to help in this regard. But I want to thank Senator Warren for her leadership in bringing forward a bill that would make a difference for millions of students that hold debt today. Will make a difference. It will make it less costly for them to take out the loans that they have taken out. It would affect, I said, millions of students. And let me just give you one number, which I find somewhat shocking. And that is, I think Americans would be upset, disappointed, and outraged to learn that their government is making money off of student loans. Let me repeat that again. The federal government is making money off of student loans. You see, the interest rates are higher than what the cost of the student loan is, taking into consideration defaults, taking into consideration administrative costs, taking into consideration the cost of borrowing. Between 2007 and 2012, $66 billion was made off the backs of students who can't afford the loans they currently have. Well, what Senator Warren's bill does is allow those who hold student debt to refinance, taking advantage of the lower interest rates. It's not going to be subsidized loans. There'll be no cost to the taxpayers to do this. This seems like a no-brainer, quite frankly. Make it easier for them. We let homeowners refinance their mortgages, and we've passed special legislation to allow that. We allow businesses to refinance their loans to the lowest competitive rate. Why can't students do this? That's what the bill before us does. It lets us move forward at no cost because it is we're not subsidizing the loans, and just because of our unusual scoring reasons here, she provides an offset, which quite frankly, I don't think is necessary, but I certainly support the bill, and the offset is certainly one that has millionaires paying their fair share. It makes sense. So what will this do? We'll save thousands of dollars for those who currently hold loans. That's an important thing to do. And I know some saying, well, don't we need more accountability from higher education? Yes, we do. Don't we need more transparency in higher education? Yes, we do. Don't we need to have better consumer information in higher education? Yes, I agree with all of the above. But today we can do something about the interest costs and correct, I think, an injustice of government making money off of student loans and do this in a way that make it more affordable for families. We can do something that can truly help. It will provide help to families. President Obama has acted. I thank him for doing that. 5 million families will benefit from his executive order or clarification that says no more than 10% of your income needs to be done in order to repay student loans and capping the number of years. That's going to help. He's also doing more to promote awareness of repayment options. That is good. But we in Congress have an opportunity to act, and we can act today. I hope that we would get bipartisan support to help middle-income families and to help our country. And I would urge my colleagues to allow us to get on this bill, pass it, and help the middle class of America. With that, Madam President, I would suggest the absence of quorum.
The clerk will call the roll.